important. So let's see what we have. We talked about this man-made process, that is the process of making cheese. Okay, so do you remember we discussed it? Again, we have four paragraphs or maybe five, it depends. So how you can manage and how you can divide your information into different maybe paragraphs. When we say two or three, actually it doesn't mean that there is a rule that you have to write two. No, the number of words is important. So sometimes I divide my the important information into three paragraphs, so it's okay. Three main bodies, I mean. So in total, I will have five paragraphs, so it's okay. It depends. Now, let's see. Let's have a look. Of course, I tried really hard to see what we have here. Okay, but let's talk about the number of stages. So as I can see, so the first one is raw milk. So first, okay, one. Raw milk is collected, right? Okay, what happened next, Mai? So can you tell me, and no worries if you can't make like sentence. No, I don't need. I don't want you to make sentences or write. Just tell me what can you see. The second step or the second stage like is this stage, right?
Yeah.
So we have pasteurization, okay. That is the second one. Okay, the third one, goes down here, as you can see, right?
I see. Standard.
Standardization and filtration. Yeah,
Yeah.
standardization and filtration. Okay, and then we have, it goes down, and here we have, let me see, okay, traditional, okay, and cheese making, and here traditional cheese making, here this is not a process, here rennet and coagulation. So the next one we have addition of rennet, as you can see, enzyme, so addition of rennet enzyme, okay, and this one, and after that, number 5, what can you see? The next one,
Cutting.
okay, let me see, cutting. But we also have here, look, this one, this is another one, as you can see, fermentation with microorganism. So they, as do you remember, I told you that sometimes, oh, what happened? Oh, what happened? Consists of more than two. Like for example, this is one stage here. As you can see, that is coagulation. Here, coagulation begins. But in coagulation, we have rennet and this one, that is fermentation. So as you can see, I have this one and this one, okay? And these two are included in this stage. Can you see? So I need to mention both of them. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, so this is after that. Okay, after that, so let me write. So fermentation with macroorganism. organism. Okay, this one. Well, you may ask me, teacher, should I know the meaning of every word that I'm writing? Definitely no. Definitely no, because actually this is special process. Why you need to know about making cheese. So you don't need, for example, okay, what is rennet or what is this or what is that? No, actually, you will have what you need. So it's like you only write, but if you need to, because here there is no paraphrase, this is not writing task two. There is no paraphrase, there is no synonym here. Okay, now you directly write what you see and directly use the words and the phrases that you can see in your diagram or your chart. So you don't need to know the meaning of. Of course, it's like, okay, should I know everything? I don't know the meaning of this. Why you need to know. So just see, okay, and then after that, after fermentation and rennet, so we have, oh, what is this? Sorry. This is E. Okay, and then we have the next one, the next. As I can see, curds and whey. Can you see? Curds and whey here. So curds and whey. Okay. Number 7. Okay. Now, after coagulation, I have cutting, right? And of course, after cutting, I have stirring and cooking, right? Stirring and cooking. Okay, of course you have the print or actually book, so you can see it better. If you want, you can check your book. Just I'm giving you after stirring and cooking again. We have pouring. Okay, here it goes up and here. Okay, we have pouring. Let me type it here. 9, pouring into mold. Okay, and 10, we have pressing. I can see, yes, pressing here, as you can see, yeah, pouring into mold and pressing. Okay, and then we have draining of additional whey, draining of additional whey. Okay, and after that, as you can see, after draining, okay, what do we have?
Mm.
Yeah,
Ripening.
ripening. Very good. Ripening. And that's it. The end of it. Okay. We can say the end, of course, if we can see. So it's like, let me check. Cutting and then packaging. Normally the final step depends on, but what I can see here is ripening and packaging, and that's it. Okay, so they are the stages that I can see. Now I want to write my essay. Okay, do I need to, and should I write an ink, should I write about every stage? No, I don't, because if I want to write them from the beginning to the end, of course my essay exceeds word limit, right? So I don't need it. Okay, what I need? I need to start with my introduction. I want to write my introduction. Do you remember I told you normally we use the verb illustrate or demonstrate, so introduction. The diagram, just my let me mention this, that is really important. When writing, punctuation, capitalization are really important, and spelling. So everything is important. So for example, okay, this is initial letter, so I need to use capital letter, so that's really important. The diagram illustrates the various stages involved in what? In industrial, okay, production of cheese from raw milk, okay, to the final ripened product. So, do you remember I told you only the beginning and the end? You don't need to
Yeah.
mention every stage in your introduction. Do you remember? Just raw milk and ripened product. Okay, now illustrate is the verb. That means show or demonstrate. Various stage, different steps. So let me give you some words. So here I have illustrate. That means show or demonstrate. Okay? Where is my N? This is here, demonstrate. The next one, various stages. That is different steps. Okay. Industrial production. Production. Another one, what is this? Manufacturing process. Process. Okay? And now let's keep going. Okay, I finished my introduction. That is really good introduction, and that's enough. Now, the most important part, okay, let me put this here so I can see better. Okay, the most important part of writing task 2 over task 1, I'm sorry, I said task 2, overview. That is really important. Okay, normally I begin my overview with overall. This is the word for overview. So normally we have it. Overall, the process consists of a series of steps. Why I don't say stage again? Because I've already used it here. I don't want to repeat one word again and again. So stage steps, okay? Then beginning with what? What is my first? Beginning with pasteurization of milk, raw milk. So beginning with pasteurization of raw milk. Okay. And ending, you say
To, uh, with ripening.
okay. So, of course, ripening, and of course, we can say packaging. Okay. Because as you can see, yes, we have here, so we have ripened cheese. Okay. So, let's talk about this. It's good to know it. Okay. You know the meaning of uh, ripe, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, so what is this? After aging, you know this, after aging the cheese to improve flavor. So they keep cheese like, they let it just like we can say maturing, they let it stay for time, okay? And during this time, the flavor changes, improves, okay? This is actually the meaning of ripening. So, of course, we can say ending in ripening and packaging. So, how to say, okay, so raw milk, okay, and okay, ending in the, for example, ripening, and maybe, for example, packaging. Oh, what is this? What? And the packaging of different types of cheese. Because let me say something, why I use different types of cheese. When we say this process that is ripening, as you know, for example, the cheese that is kept for 1 month is different with the cheese that is kept for 2 months and 3 months. So we have different types of it. So some more like fresher, some older. So we have different types of cheese. So this is here we have the beginning of my overview. If I need something, let me see. Uh, there are mechanical, as you can see, and two different processes. So let me show you here, okay? As you can see, we have different. So one of them you actually happen, and one stage or two stages or three stages, okay, are mechanical. What is this? Actually, this process, these stages happen by machines, right? So we can see that, for example, here we have machines and they happen. And another one, we have, for example, ripening. Just let cheese stay somewhere, for example, warm place, okay, to improve the flavor. So if I want, I can add it. If no, I don't need. I can say it involves both mechanical and biological procedures, including fermentation, pressing, and because when I say biological, maybe examiner doesn't understand, "Oh, what is this?" Okay, but I can say I mean, for example, fermentation or ripening, they are not mechanical. Okay, it's already finished, the process finished. Okay, now we need to wait for it to be better, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, and now here, if you want to add, I said process consists of a series of steps beginning. If you want, okay, you can say the process consists of, it's more than 12. I can say 14 or 13 maybe. Okay, 13 distinct stages. If you want, you can, beginning with collection of raw milk and pasteurization and ending in production of both fresh and what? You say
Adding.
what? So it's
Mm,
ripened. We just mentioned when we say, ripening process here, we have fresh cheese. After production, we have fresh cheese, right? But
yes.
but they keep this cheese in warm place. That is the process, as you can see, ripening. Can you see? And then after maybe 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month, 6 months, okay, we will have another form of cheese. So we can say it includes, like, for example, the production process of both fresh and ripened cheese, right?
Yes.
Okay, so this way you can add it. Now, as you can see, we have mechanical or biological, but you don't need to, or biochemical. So you don't need to say mechanical because if you can see it here, it's okay. But if you can see, you don't need. So it's enough. But if you want, let me give you here just because I want you to know. It includes, so the process it includes, okay, several mechanical and biochemical. They add chemicals to actually uh, change the process to ripen, okay? To steps such as, for example, pasteurization. Okay, do you tell me pasteurization is mechanical or biochemical?
Mm, me- Mechanical.
Why?
Uh, because it use it uses uh mechanic.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to ask you, so you mean it uses machine? The process, yeah,
Yes.
happens by. Okay, let me ask you. They have raw milk, but normally when they want to pasteurize milk, they add some chemicals and then happens. So, for example, they add something into raw milk, then the process happens. Okay, so it can be, or let me ask you, how about fermentation?
Mhm. Um. Uh. Is
Definitely,
biochemical.
definitely very good. Of course, it's biochemical. Or, for example, let me see what I can see here. Uh, Pressing,
Is is
mechanical.
mechanical.
Definitely. Okay. So you can add them if you want, like fermentation or I don't know, pressing or whatever. Okay. And of course, then we can say, of course, the end is ripening for what? For certain cheese types. So we have different cheese types. Okay, so this is my overview. Well, and now it's time to write our main body. Just let me know if you have any questions about this word.
No one don't.
Is it difficult? Actually, you chose really, lying why you chose this, but it's not my fault. It was yours because you chose this. I only help you.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so yeah, really, why you decided to choose this one?
Um. I just uh get it from the school book.
Of course, of course. Well,
Yeah.
and have you? Oh, so let me ask you. Out of school, have you written about it or no? This is the first time.
This is the first time.
Yeah. Okay. So why you
Yeah.
didn't write it about it? Why? Teacher didn't help?
Uh. No. Uh. At school, I just learned about uh dynamic static table and bar chart.
Oh,
Mm,
really? So, like pie chart, your line chart. So, you mean
Yeah.
dynamic? I got it. Okay. So, static dynamic is not only about just, the type of chart, it's something different. I will explain later. But because they are easier. So, it's like process is good. So, we have some common, and process is also can be considered as like a common type. So, we have it. But let me say something normally. From my experience, since normally in IELTS test, we have shorter process diagrams. You know what? Because actually, of course, it's so, you need to write the number of stages, so it takes time. Normally, we have shorter, but this one is also good. Okay, so we have the overview. Overall, the process consists of series of steps beginning with pasteurization and collecting. You can add this: collecting raw milk, and pasteurization. So you can add this too. What is this? Okay. Just I'm typing too fast when you see that. Okay. Oh my God. I misspelled. Please to let me know to correct it. Of raw milk and
Yeah.
ending. Ah, look, I have two endings here and you didn't tell me. An ending in the ripening and packaging of different types of cheese. So it includes several mechanical and biochemical steps such as this. That's enough. You don't need to write more. This is overview. Okay. Now, and let me say something. What I'm writing is actually a band 9 essay. If I delete, so for band 7, it's easier. You know, you don't need to add this. Just write the first part and that's it. It's so easy. Okay, now we want to write our main body. Oh my goodness. Don't choose this type of essays anymore, okay? And no, I'm just kidding, of course. Just try to use the most difficult charts, diagram, questions that you feel like that you can't. Okay? Because of course, easy is easy. You can do it. But we should focus on difficult ones. Then it will be really easy to write something, for example, normal. Okay. First of all, detailed description. First of all is not good. I say initially. Oh, this one is better. So initially is first of all. What happened? Raw milk. Okay. I want to say that is actually like got ready to pasteurization, but I don't want to say gets ready. What is this? So I say is subjected to what? The second step. Yeah? So it's subjected to pasteurization. Okay? I will give you the meaning of the words. What happened in pasteurization? Actually, the harmful bacteria removed, right? Okay, so where it is heated, okay, to remove, eliminate harmful what? Bacteria. This is the process of pasteurization. Okay, as you can see, I'm using passive voice. That is really important. So for writing task 1, for writing task 2, don't forget about using passive. That is really important. Okay, and then what happened? Then milk, I don't want to say milk, it then undergoes. Okay. Undergoes what?
Let me go. Uh, Send. Standard.
Yes, definitely.
Standardization.
Yeah, standardization undergoes standardization, and what? And filtration. Yeah, and filtration. Okay. Why? You can add reason if you want. If you don't know, you don't need, okay? So you can say to ensure uniform quality, for example. To ensure uniform quality. So why I want to, okay, what is this? So after pasteurization, so yeah, they heat and eliminate harmful bacteria. Now they want to be sure to filter it. You know that when we filter something, we remove extras, okay? Or forbidden things or harmful things. So, of course, they want to check quality, okay? And then what happens? I want to add another. Okay, I don't want to say after that. Following this. Now, if it's band 6.5, if it's band 7, 6, 6.5, I can use after that. This is band 9. Following this, what happened?
Ferment, fermenting
Okay, we
Mai June.
have rennet. Look, we have rennet. Okay, rennet is, as you can see, enzyme. Can you see? Rennet is enzyme. Can you see? So, what verb I can use for enzyme? We add it, right? We add something. Yeah? So, following this, rennet. Okay. What is rennet? I need to explain. I can see here. Okay. Is added. Why? Why? You say just what you can see. Tell me what you can see. To start what?
Um, First and when.
Yeah, I couldn't hear you. To start the
And
next process, coagulation, right?
correct.
Here, yeah, of
Yeah.
course. So we can say, why not? So you can say, okay, an enzyme that is rennet, an enzyme is added to start. Okay, of course, I can say to start my, but here I have another verb exactly the same meaning, trigger. Oh, what is this? To start. To trigger. So for band 9, you can use coagulation. Okay. And after that, what happened? Coagulation, forming curd and whey, right? So,
Yeah.
what happens? So, I can say forming curd and whey.
First and when.
Yeah, okay. Now, what happened? In the next stage, okay, the curds, what happened? Cut, right? Are
Yeah.
cut. And then stirred and cooked. Stirred, as you can see now, I'm using passive voice, not stirring, not cooking, and cooked. Okay? What
Yeah.
happens, which, okay, what happens? So I can say which promotes further separation from the whey. So we can do this. If no, you, of course, you don't need to do it, just extra explanation. Then, okay, this mixture, okay, they stirred, okay, and of course they cooked and cut. So what happens then? Okay, this mixture, why I say mixture, when you stir something, you have a mixture, right? This mixture then, okay, what happened? Uh, is then what happens? Here is then poured into the mold. You can see here is poured into the mold. And what happened? Curds are pressed. Look here, mold, as you can see, we pour it into this and then adding salt, salting, and pressing, right? Look, pouring, as you can see, we have some guidance. This is pouring into molds. Can you see? Pouring into molds. Okay, this is mixture. Here, salting, adding salt, and pouring into mold. After that, pressed. Okay, pressed. And then,
Driving
sorry,
and driving.
okay, yeah, very good. Okay. Well, and uh after pressing this draining, you mean?
Yeah,
So let me see.
draining.
Okay. Yeah, we can say pressed. Why? If you want, you can say are pressed to shape the cheese. So they press it to shape, yeah? So you can say to, for example, remove extra moisture, wetness, water, yeah? But you don't need to add. If you want, you can add it to shape, okay, to shape the cheese, right? They form it. Well, at this point, at this point, the product, okay, is divided, is classified into what? Fresh cheese and or process further. Now we have fresh cheese, right, Mai? Now at this point, at this stage, we have fresh cheese. But if, oh, what is this? If no, okay, fresh cheese or processed further. Can you explain what I mean when you say process further? What happens then? After fresh cheese, they need to ripe it. Why? Because they want to have different types, old cheese. Yeah? So
Yeah,
then we can say fresh cheese is, of course, is packaged. Yeah, directly. Packaged directly. Okay. Whereas, but, whereas, what happened? Other types undergo what? Ripening. Yeah? And during ripening, what happened? You tell me? During ripening, additional whey draining, can you see, is drained. Y, improving, enhancing flavor and improving texture, the form, the texture. And finally, the ripened cheese is ready to what?
to
For
uh
distribution. Oh, where is my Y? Okay, you can say to what? Now it's time to distribute, distribution, delivery. This word means delivery. Yeah, it's ready to go. Sending to, this is the meaning of sending to stores. So when you want to say sending to stores, you can say distribution, okay? Well, I have some words here. This is my essay. Finished. Okay, now let's talk about some words here. The first one, so subjected to is subjected to, made to go to. So here we say milk is subjected, milk is made to go, put through. I mean, put through. Or made to go through, made to go through. Pasteurization, this is the meaning of subjected to. And of course, we have filtration, removing unwanted bacteria. That is filter. You filter something, but you don't need to know. Rennet is enzyme, as I told you, it's a kind of enzyme. They add to milk, okay? And coagulation, the process of thickening. For example, they take extra water and make something like a solid form. Can you understand? So that is the meaning of coagulation. Okay? And curds. After taking extra water, removing extra water, we have a solid and liquid part. So, solid and liquid parts. After this process, it happens, and of course, we have pouring into mold. They shape the container, they shape, okay, and form that, that curds, okay, and then they press it, they squeeze extra water, remove every liquid, so any liquid in it, and then of course ripening, that is aging. They let cheese stay somewhere warm to improve flavor. Okay, so do you have any questions related to this one? Mai, do you have any questions? Is it difficult? No, it's
yeah,
not. I know. It's really hard because this is the first time, but process diagram is a little different. You know why? Because, for example, a line chart is more common, so you see process is somehow different, but this one was challenging one. Okay? So, but if you write it this way, now I will do something. Of course, if I have time, not today maybe, but I will do this for you. I will change this to band 6.5 or 7.7 maybe version. Then you will compare this and that, okay, to see, okay, what's the difference, how you can write it. But if you write this way and if you know the words, now let me ask you, did you get the meaning of each word that I used here? Could you get?
you explain the word uh um
What? Undergo, I forgot. Yeah, what?
undergo, yeah.
Undergo, yeah, because yeah, of course I missed this one. Okay, undergo means actually when you go through something, undergo. This like a process. Of course, we have different meaning for it. Here means go through a process, to experience, to go through a process. So this is the meaning of undergo. Okay. Well, that is to go through. Well, as I told you later, when I have time, just I will do this. I will try to like make a Word file for you. Just type this, and then again, I will take screenshot and I will rewrite it, and I will actually highlight the important words, give you the meaning, and of course, I will give you another version of it. Okay, so you can have them, you can compare, and you can study. Well, okay. Well, Mai, so for the next time, if you have something that you want to focus on, let me know. If no, I will choose. But if it's good, if you have any, for example, question or maybe chart, diagram, task one, task two, reading, so everything, if you have something in your mind that you feel like difficult, just let me know. And then we will practice for the next time, okay? If no, I will choose.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's time to go now, my. So, thank you. It was a good time with you and have a good Sunday. Enjoy it. Goodbye.
Okay.
Welcome.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.